So where did we left off? So this game is like a book with a visual, because they use some big words in this. There's a lot of words that don't really roll off the tongue, and the dialogue is massive. But I do like it for some reason. Okay, let's see here. Looking for trouble. Prologue, chapter 1. I don't even know what I'm doing here. Prison planet. This is New Blood. Void ship requires a new engineer. Okay, so we got most of the stuff done then. Let's see what we got here. Let's see, can we upgrade the ship maybe? Void ship management. So what do we got? Scrap the resources used to repair the void ship. Use scrap to repair your ship and restore its hull integrity. Improve the parameters of your ship's prowl and hull, or upgrade the abilities of its port and posts. Scrap can be found while exploring star systems, collected after certain space battles, or purchased from the merchants affiliated with various factions. Okay, we got scrap to upgrade hull. Upgrade RAM. So RAM is the front here. Let's see, engine. Yeah, we can't switch that out really. Shield. Arsenal. No. Okay, let's upgrade the hull then. Just because we can. Lord Captain, sorry to disturb you. Listening to something. It's the pandemonium outside the bridge gate. One of the officers seems to be demanding an audience with you in person. I think I hear Master Versidian's voice in case. I wanted to warn you in advance. Okay. I don't really know who that is, but we'll see, I guess. Spinning throne. This is not the conduct of an officer. These are the antics of a highborn brat out on a lark. Explain yourself, Lieutenant. Okay. I apologize, sir, but I must speak to the Lord Captain. Very well, Lieutenant. You may address the Lord Captain, not least because I see you have already been seen fit to disturb him. Your unauthorized appearance on the bridge and display of belligerence towards a high-ranking officer will be logged in your personal file without delay. Lord Captain, Lieutenant Avrilavent requesting permission to speak on a matter of extreme importance and urgency. You may speak. I don't want to hear a report, but I want to hear a report, not a shouting match having two officers bickering in full view of the bridge is unacceptable. I'm sorry, Lord Captain. I thought that drastic times call for drastic measures. This matter cannot wait. Any minute now, an assault unit will be dispatched to the lower decks on orders to crush the workers' strike by any means necessary. But I am convinced that this step is unwarranted and that the crisis itself was provoked by the actions of one of the senior officers. Lord Captain, I urge you to investigate the actions of Essential Versiarian and to intervene in what's happening on the lower decks, because very soon we will have a mutiny or a massacre on our hands. There's an insurrection in the making aboard my ship and no one has informed me. I will not deem it a problem worthy of the rogue traders' attention. The lower decks, as it so happens, are in revolt. 30-some years ago, we even had a voluntary leader rise up who dared to establish workers' rule across the entire ship. It took a month to restore order, but even 8 years later, we were still battling rumors that the hero had survived his execution and was on the verge of gathering people to fight against the tyranny once more. Needless to say, the rumors were baseless. As the current situation, we have sufficient forces to deal with it. But on this ship, the word of the Lord Captain carries more weight than a salvo from 100 bolters. I'm sure that the rogue trader addresses the malcontent directly. He will quell the unrest. I dread to think what problem you will disturb the rogue trader with next. Perhaps you will ask the Lord Captain to break up brawls in the mess room. I have already given you the means to resolve the problem. You simply need to use them. If I may, your lordship, sending a hit squad to crush the rebellion is a means of ignoring the problem, not solving it. How did all of this start? The situation could boil over at any minute, so I'll give you the condensed version. It all began when the enforcers found a cultist amulet on the body of someone who had been killed in a drunken brawl. We reported it up the chain immediately, arranged for a cleansing rite to be performed, and opened an investigation. No heretics was found alive, but the search has brought tensions between enforcers and workers to a head. Where does Essential Versian come into this? I shall explain. I beg you to hurry. Time is running out. I will not hurry, since my competence is under scrutiny. I shall speak for as long as I see fit. There is an established order to the way of things are done on this ship, and one of the pillars of that system is that the rogue trader's attention is not distracted by tribal matters. It is the Seneschal's role to ensure that, I have always handled internal problems myself, so of course, when I received the information about cultists hiding on the lower decks, I took the matter in hand. So long as I live, no one of the vermin who murdered Theodora von Valancius will find refuge on her ship. You were far too heavy-handed. Sensual Versierian arrested interrogation, mass punishments for entire sectors. It has driven the people to the brink. Now there is a strike on the lower decks in Depot 4, to be precise. 3 worker clans are involved, but many more are passively supporting them. The situation could degenerate into an all-out insurrection. But when I reported my concerns, the only response I received was an order to dispatch an assault unit and crush the strike with a maximum force. Master at Arms, the ships and forces report to you, and yet you seem hesitant to provide your own perspective. Lord Captain, unlike Lieutenant Vent, I respect the chain of command and realize that it is not within my right to challenge my superiors. That being said, while I entirely share Master Versierian's opinion on what fate Depot 4 deserves, I must note that this insubordination is a direct consequence of practices that he himself has introduced. Okay, so... Mistress Surback, I see you have decided to follow the Lieutenant's example after all. Such a behavior does you no credit. Okay, so Master of Arms is the Abelard guy. He's pretty good in a fight, but he seems to be kind of a hard ass. Let's see here. Abelard, do you wish to respond? Mistress Sarback, can you recall an occasion where I would encourage an officer to disobey their superior? Or one where I would overrule their order, or show favoritism to those who merit none? None shall. For there have been no such cases in the entire time I have served aboard this ship. If anyone were to claim otherwise, I would have them pay for insulting your honor with blood. Your conduct in this regard have always been spotless. Nevertheless, given your eminent position, simple show of attention on your part is enough to erode the propriety of junior officers, inflate their sense of self-importance and undermine discipline. That you distinguish some of them and know them by name is tantamount to walking around the officer's deck handing out gifts to officers who have caught your eye. It fills those you set apart with ambition and audacity, makes them stand out amongst the rest. Enforcers are meant to be faceless servants, fighters ready to die, their fate entrusted to their commander and no one else. That is the sole foundation of order. Okay, so that's your old robots. Mm. Lieutenant Vent, would you say the Seneschal has singled you out from your peers in any way? Lord Captain, I swear that Seneschal Verserian has never granted me any privileges, never once advocated for me, nor felicitated my promotions, although he is the man who convinced me to become an officer in the first place. He has offered me extensive guidance in my search, for which I am grateful to him, and while not all my followers receive such attention, I know of at least a dozen fine officers whom the Seneschal keeps in his sights to ensure that they continue to strive. To prepare new generations of the dynasty's servants, to instruct them and to separate those with potential from who have exhausted it. That is my duty as Seneschal. This ship has bays worth of pilots, enforcers, officers, technicians, and stewards who I have raised personally. By the throne, every third person standing on this bridge right now has my student at one point. Was my student at one point. Okay, so that's discipline. I see. Evidently, my officers are anything but a shining example of unity and adherence. Today, I have only myself to blame, I suppose. What is Depot 4? Depot 4 is one of the poorest sections of on the Lower Decks. It is home to clans of general laborers. They are not as valuable to the ship as the families who have served its specialized systems for generation. They are an easily replaceable resource, and one which is now more besides giving succor to the cultists and the minions of the arch enemy. Succor. That's that word is giving succor. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that word. Depot 4 is poor and troubled, but at worst that means drunken fights and illegal rotgut brewing. We have handled the workers of Depot 4 in the past. We would have done so again if the crackdown on Depot 4 hadn't been so harsh. And anyone important point to bear in mind, the problem is not limited to this sector. It is located on one of the most populated lower decks, and everything that happens there has a knock-on effect on all the neighboring sectors. Alabord, what do you have to say to all this? I see no need to add anything. I acted within the remit of my authority, guided exclusively by the best interest of your protectorate and your personal safety. If you wish to confirm the rectitude of my actions for yourself, I have no objections. For my part, I urge the Lord Captain to go down to the lower decks, stop the assault unit, and speak directly to the people. You will see that they are not lying or harboring heretics. That way, you will stop the uprising before it begins. Okay. So we're already low on personnel, so we don't really need to lose more people, even though if they are badly educated it doesn't really matter. They should have been like prioritized to education or something. I've heard enough. I will go down to the lower decks and deal with the problem personally. Praise the Emperor. Thank you, Lord Captain. An enterprise bordering on the Sophomoric, but please yourself, Lord Captain. However, I categorically insist that I escort you. Lord Captain, I regret that the enforcers were unable to handle the situation, which have led to you and the Seneschal's involvement. I consider it my duty to go to depot for myself and see the expedient resolution of this incident. So many big words. God damn. Choose party members. So I'm picking all of these. Everybody's tagging along. Mutiny. Here we go. Alright. Greetings, Your Grace. The lower decks are the source of endless problems. Sometimes I dearly regret that we cannot replace all the locals with servitors. Oh, this guy really don't like people. The people dared to disrespect a senior officer? They would not have had a chance to express such disrespect if we were not here, and if the situation had been dealt with by the relevant officers. It is a junior officer's worst failing to pass problems up to the chain of command. I have never been able to abide it. I shall say it again. It was a mistake to come here, Lieutenant Vent, on Lieutenant Vent's whim, Lord Captain. I must admit that the Lieutenant is by no means the worst material for an officer, but in the name of Terra, the girl is the same age as my eldest great-granddaughter, and she has the gall to tell me how to manage the lower decks and hunt down cultists. It will be another 20 years at least before she can be trusted to act without oversight. Well, he's thinking about safety at least. Let's keep on moving. We need to get to the bottom of this.
We are bound by the blood of martyrs.
Wow, nobles.
I still do not see our purpose in coming.
The sounds of a heated discussion reverberate through the ship's base. Lieutenant Avrila Vents of the ships and forces is bearing the path of her superior, Master of Arms, Jocasta Sourback. who has arrived clad in armor. Judging by the expression and tone, the standoff has dragged on for some time already and has now reached a boiling point. Lieutenant Vent, my patient is wearing thin. I have given you an order. Now get out of my way. I cannot comply with that order, ma'am. This is my deck and my sector. So long as this area remains under Lord Captain's special oversight, no action can be taken without my express permission. There are only 3 people who are authorized. There we go. To make me stand down. The first officer, the rogue trader, and the Emperor himself. So not all my lessons fall on deaf ears. Your lordship. What's the situation? Your lordship, my people have locked down the bay where the strikers are, including their leaders. We have the situation under control as far as resources allow. Under control, Lieutenant. I came here to lead an investigate unit, and what do I see? The rabble is on the verge of mutiny. There is nothing to investigate. This simply calls for immediate repressions and firing squads, and you, Vent, are a step away from facing charges yourself. We encountered some locals on our way here. Their conduct was outrageous. They even tried to throw things at us. The people are getting desperate, clearly. They saw the assault unit and they decided they had nothing left to lose. I mean, I apologize, Lord Captain. It is outrageous. I'm sure the people simply didn't recognize you. It wouldn't have occurred otherwise. We will deal with them once the current situation is resolved. I want to speak to the strikers. Right you are, Lord Captain. Allow me to wish you good luck. Okay, so where are...
They fear to look at me because of my appearance.
Blessed is von Valencia's bloodline. The Divine watches over us.
Okay, let's talk to him. See what happens.